Hi everyone, I hope you've been well and you've been staying safe during this difficult time. I'm here today in my gardening room and I want to show you some old seeds that I have that I want to give a shot and see if they will germinate. Now, the last time I did this was sweet peas and it was earlier this year. And unfortunately the sweet peas that I had started or I tried to start, all of them had rotted. And I understand that the reason is because sweet peas don't have a good germination, they don't have good viability in general. So from my own personal sweet pea seeds, I do grow them every year, and I noticed that the ones that I had tried to start, they were quite old, like several years and older. They didn't have very good germination rates. The new ones that I have, like 1 and 2 year old sweet pea seeds, they had fairly good germination rate. Even that, there's still the sporadic one that doesn't germinate. So seeds that came from 1938, sweet peas, didn't germinate, and the reason is because they just lose their viability over a few years, and by that age there would be none that would be viable. Now I do have another seed from 1938, the same seed company. This was given to me by some friends of mine that own an antique store in my local town, and I'm going to give them a shot and see if they will germinate. So which seeds am I referring to? It's these. Can you see them? These are cucumbers, Chicago pickling. Now these are also from 1938 from the seed company called the Gold Medal People Limited, and they were established in 1898, as you can see here in Toronto, and these are also 1938 seeds. Now the previous package that I had of sweet peas that had not been opened, these were opened, and possibly back in the 1930s when the person who purchased these seeds for 10 cents planted them. Now I've looked at the seeds and I have them over here, and I'm going to turn the camera and I'm going to show you that I've already pulled them out, and I'm going to do a seed germination test to see which ones will germinate, if they will, and then the ones that do, I will then pot them up into pots and go from there. Now I have done a video on how to test seed viability by doing a germination test, and I've linked that above there in the iCards. You can click on that and it'll take you to that video and show you exactly how to run a seed germination test. That's if you have old seeds and you're uncertain if they will be viable, if they're worth planting. Doing a seed germination test, that will help you and let you decide whether or not they're good or not. And I like to do this technique even when I'm trying to sow different seeds. Ones I'm uncertain of, maybe ones that are difficult to germinate. I find doing a seed germination test is always a great way to get them going, and then you can always pot them up from there. So we're gonna do that today, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. I'm gonna flip the camera and show you how I'm gonna decide. So I've already pulled all the seeds out there here on my table. I'm gonna flip the camera and show you which ones they are. I've separated them already, the ones that don't look good to me and the ones that still look like they might have a chance. And I'm going to do a seed germination test on the ones that look good still and leave the ones that look bad out, so the ones that might have problems. Okay, so I'm gonna flip the camera and we're gonna go from there. I have separated the seeds that look good to me from the seeds that don't look so good, and then I also have a secondary pile, and I'll explain that. So first of all, these seeds were in the packet and I find them questionable. There's like this one here with brown on it. There's ones with like black markings. This one's got some kind of growth. This one has one attached. There's all these like weird markings, as you can see. Now, to me, that's questionable because I don't know if those seeds will have good viability or not. So why waste the opportunity and the time of starting these? So I've set these aside and I'm not going to germinate these. Now, this is the good pile that I have set aside, and all of these look good to me. In terms of the color of the seed coat, they don't really have markings on them. All the seeds seem to have an endosperm on the inside. So how can you tell that? It's by looks like the seeds are puffy, okay? All these seeds have a puffiness to them. They're hard. The ones that don't have puffiness look like this. So they look like they're flat. I'll show you another example. Here in the bad pile, this is one that's flat. So, there's nothing inside. If you try to germinate it, there's nothing viable. There's a good example right there. And you can often find this with like zucchini seeds and squash seeds. If you're saving your own, and then once they dry, if they look like this, they're hollow on the inside. There's nothing alive in them. So I've set aside anything like that. So all these seeds here look okay to me. Their seed coats are the decent color. Like typically cucumber seeds have a nice light seed coat. And so, you know, there's some that have slight darkening to them, but these ones here, I found them darker than the ones I have that I think are good. So I'm not going to test these right now because I only want to test the ones that look like they all have all the characteristics that I'm looking for. A light seed coat, nice and puffy thickness to the seed itself, nothing black on it, no growth, no nothing. So this is this pile here, okay? And I think that these are ready. What I'm going to do is I'm going to germinate or attempt to germinate 15 of these seeds because I want to give it a good chance. So if I only do a few, I'm wasting time again. So I'm going to set 15 in a seed germination test and see how many I can get from that, if I can get any at all. And if that doesn't work, then I'll do some more, but I'll start with 15. I'll show you how I do that in 1 second. Okay, so I've got my wet paper towel. So this is to see more information on how to run a seed germination test. Check out that video that I mentioned to you that has the link up above in the description. So here's my wet paper towel. I just have it set in this for now. I've moistened it. So I wet it, I squeezed out the water, and now it's ready to go. So you just lay it out, and I'm gonna select 15 seeds from that seed packet, and you're gonna lay them out like so with some space in between them, okay? And hopefully I get one germinating, but you can't get your hopes up because you never know if it germinates or not. And so I try not to get my hopes up because if it doesn't germinate, you know, nothing's lost. But if it does, success, right? It's exciting. And I'm trying to select the ones with the lightest seed coats. So typically when you're running a germination test, you just randomly grab, you know, 10 or 100 seeds to try to get a percentage. But when you're doing, in this case, you know, I'm trying to select the ones that look the best to me. So let's see here. How many do we have? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, we got 16. That's fine. So then I'm gonna fold over the paper. Now, you could get a larger wet paper towel, but this is the piece that I got. So I'm gonna work with what I have. And I'm just gonna fold over this corner here, like so, okay? Then I'm going to just fold this corner, fold this corner. Now, some people do it differently. If you watch on YouTube, you can see that different people do this their own way. Some people just have a sheet and they just lay them openly on a sheet. I like to fold them in. I don't find I get a problem like that. It works just fine for me. Some people, you know, do it in an open container. Whatever works for you, you know, do it. This works for me, and I've been doing this for many years, and it works. So once they're inside the paper towel, you fold it over and you put it into a plastic zipper bag. I like these bags here. These are IKEA bags. They're pretty sturdy, so I like to use these. So this is it, and you can actually see them through the bag. So, you know, you don't need to have an open layer because I've tried that before and I found that the seeds move, and so I don't want them to move when I pick up the bag. I want them to stay in place. And, you know, some people say it should be open because possibly it will damage the roots once you want to pull them out. I don't worry about that because I just cut around. I take that paper towel with me and I plant it and it disappears. You know, it just composts. But they're my seeds, and once they start to germinate, I will notice them coming through, and you'll see the green, you'll see if they're rotting, they'll turn black or kind of, you know, moldy-ish color. So you'll notice everything, but you can see it right through the bag. So that's it. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to put a label on here with some masking tape, today's date, the seeds, the variety, the day I started it, and then I'll keep track of it, and I'll check in a couple days, 2-3 days, I'll start checking. And I'm not going to put this in the sunny window because I don't want it to rot, so I'm going to just leave it here in my gardening room on the counter. But if you were doing this in your kitchen, you can do this leave it on a kitchen counter, just out of direct sunlight, because you don't want it to cook inside this plastic bag, because this plastic bag is like a greenhouse. It's closed, and if it gets too hot, the seeds can rot inside the bag. So just keep it out of direct sunlight, but in a bright location. That'll be just fine. Okay, so this is how you do it. So that's it. I have them in the bag. The bag is labeled. I've put the date of the date that I started. I put the name of these cucumbers, or cucumber Chicago pickling, and I put the date that they are from. And I'll start monitoring these seeds to see if anything happens through this side of the bag. I'll start looking in about 2 days to see if anything changes, if they look like They're starting to germinate. You'll notice a swelling in the bag once that happens too. If they're starting to germinate, it'll get a little bulky in that spot. That's because the seed will have cracked open. So we'll see. I'll let you know how it goes, and hoping that we get some seeds from these. Some viable seedlings would be really great. Anyway, I hope this was interesting for you to watch. Please follow along my journey. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be notified of any upcoming videos. And if you did like my video, please click the like button and let me know that you liked it. Anyway, that's it for me for today. Hope you're all keeping safe, being well, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Happy gardening.